Welcome and thank you for joining us for this edition of Coach's Corner. My name is George Webb. I'm one of the assistant coaches here for the Dover-Sherburne Raiders, and I'm here with Steve Ryan, who's head coach of the Dover-Sherburne Raider football team. This week, we're going to recap last week's game against Sharon and then look forward toward Friday night's game at Dedham, which will be a big one for the team. Steve, looking back last Friday, it seems like a month ago, but last Friday, big win against Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon, really good team. They're going to win a bunch of games this year, and it was 2-0 against 2-0, and we're just happy to come out on the right side.
It was nice for us to get a home game out of that one. Originally, we were supposed to play in Sharon, but they're redoing their turf fields, and we got to play at home, which I think helped out a little bit. The first half turned out to be similar to what we thought it might be. Tight game and not too much scoring, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They came out and they were very physical, and I think our kids might have had it in their mind this was the old Sharon team who we could beat with our JVs, but this is a different group of kids, and they hit us very hard early, and we responded. So I'm very happy with that.
Final score was 16-0, but that really doesn't tell the story of the game, does it?
No. Story of the game is the 0 for sure. Our defense is just shutting people down right now.
Defense is great, 11 straight quarters without giving up a score, so we're playing really well there. And on the other side of the ball, maybe we can talk about offense a little bit. And that team, that side of the ball needs a little work, and we've been focusing in on that.
Oh, yeah. We're really happy with the way Michael's running the ball right now, Michael Polk. And Garrett Webb, he's stepped up. He was going to be sharing the duties, but it's been all Garrett recently, throwing the ball, and he's doing a great job, very accurate, and he's commanding the huddle very well, too, which is a big part of the game.
So let's talk about Michael Polk. Had a big game. Was it 16 carries, 126 yards, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, he's a workhorse. He plays both ways, and he plays 100% on both sides of the ball. We got a few guys like that, Alex Banerjee, Matt Darren, they're doing the same thing, Brian Olson, Chris Kiesling. So, that's what happens at a small school. You get a lot of guys going both ways. So, when those guys are such strong contributors, it really helps.
So tight game, 16-0, and we probably didn't seal it until the fourth quarter. Couple of long runs taken back both ways for fouls. I think Mike had a 50 or 60-yard run that was taken back from a foul, and then Sharon had a pretty big pickup the other direction. What was we had a couple of questions from the audience saying, what was that penalty call that brought back the Sharon touchdown?
So you can only have, including the quarterback, 4 guys in the backfield. And so they had called that one of their receivers, who was supposed to be on the line of scrimmage, had lined up too far back in the backfield. The referee threw the flag immediately, before the play even started. So, that penalty was called early, and and he didn't backtrack on it. He saw that he was off the line, and that's what he called.
So I was standing right on the sideline. I didn't even see the 4-man back there when that flag was thrown, but the design of the play was pretty good overall. So that was a fortunate pickup for us to have that walk back. One other play of the game that we had a question from the audience was the field goal attempt that we lined up for in the first half, and then we called a timeout and decided to go for the score instead.
I'd like to say it was all about, just confidence in the offense. And I am very confident that our offense makes plays like that, because when it's fourth down, we've been really successful. And on 2-point plays, we've been really successful. But that particular play, it came down to the way we have been blocking our extra point. The opposing coach had complained about it before the game, and the referees brought that to my attention. So I really didn't want to, take a chance on them looking for something that isn't really there, and sometimes you see something that isn't really there. So I just didn't want to take that chance, and we put the offense back on the field, and Garrett threw a strike to Henry, and Henry took it down to the 1-inch line.
Who carried the ball in after that?
Michael. For the one yard run.
1 yard dash. And that was in the second quarter.
Yes.
and I think that kind of changed the momentum of the game for us a little bit. And then the other score didn't come until late in the game. But again, this isn't Sharon of yesteryear. They gave us a heck of a fight, and again, 16-0 doesn't really reflect the intensity to which they played. So let's pivot and take a look at next week. We got another big game, probably the biggest game of the year.
Absolutely. We've looked at this game from the beginning. This is a very good Dedham team. They come in 1-2, but with two really high quality losses to very upper division teams who are both very good teams this year. So 1-2 doesn't really tell the story for them. But they come in with a bunch of good athletes. They come in with a chip on their shoulder. And the schemes they run are going to be difficult for us. So, we're trying to get them ready right now.
So I'm sure they're going to be looking to give us their best shot. We've had a couple of good games against them over the last couple of years, and this is a big one for them as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first league game. So, one of our goals is always to win the league, and to do that, you got to beat Dedham.
So what should we look for the Dedham team? A little bit different than in the past year or two. We know they're going to be tough, but in terms of the offense and defense, we scouted them. What do they typically run, and what are we game planning for?
Offense, they come out with a lot of different formations, not too many different plays, but a lot of different formations. Their main weapon is their quarterback, who's a very mobile guy. He throws the ball pretty well, but his big weapon is his legs. Defensively, we expect to see a 3-front, which is the same thing we saw against Nipmuc, but they are very active. They will blitz all over the place, so we've got to be ready to for the linemen to pick up that blitz, and for the backs and quarterbacks, we got to get the ball outside real quick.
And from our guys, we had a big home game against Sharon last week. We won. How are we coaching them this week to get them back up for an even bigger game?
Yeah, we had a few unsportsmanlike penalties last week. You always question whether those had to be called, or it was just because we were beating the other team at the time. But we put an end to that. That was one of our focuses, put an end to any 15-yard penalties. And but we try at the same time to keep up the emotional football, to keep up the intensity, with not crossing the line into having penalties. That was our focus for this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good team. These guys play with intensity. It's just an extra half a step and keeping it cool. Any final thoughts as we wrap up and look forward to Dedham?
If there's a game for people to come out and see, it's going to be this one. I know it's over in Dedham, but it's a good place to watch a game, and we enjoy having the fans out there. So thank you for them.
6 p.m. game, or is it 6:30?
6:30.
Okay, so we're playing an away game at Dedham High School at 6:30 p.m. on Friday night. Again, there's probably not going to be a lot of blue in the stands unless all of you that are looking out there show up and help cheer the team on. Again, it's the first division game of the year and probably the toughest game that the team is going to play. So 12th man's always important, at least to balance it out over in Dedham. So hopefully you'll be there and take everybody for the game. My name is George Webb. Thank you for joining us for this week's Coach's Corner, and we look forward to seeing you next week.